Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Thrive Time Show.
3, 2, 1, here we go! Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Started from the bottom, now we here.
Yes, 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 and yes! Steve, it is ecstasy anytime you are next to me. How are you, sir?
I am awesome.
Hey, where are you going this weekend? What's your plan? What's your plan for this weekend?
Well, since I can't meet Trump at the Trump rally, I've decided we're going to Dallas for a friend's birthday. So
You can't meet President Donald Trump at the Tulsa rally, so you're going down to Dallas.
yeah, I'm gonna now. There's supposed to be like 1.3 million or something at this rally, or they have
The
registered.
biggest rally in American history, potentially.
Yeah, and so like I don't know. We already had this planned, and the rally was like interfering with this trip we were going on. But when I found out through the campaign that he's not meeting anyone due to coronavirus, then I was like, we'll meet him next time. I heard he's coming back to Tulsa. So we're going to go to Dallas and do a little bit of networking. I'm going to meet another builder down there and do a birthday for a friend. So
What I thought we would do on today's show is we would teach the listeners the $1 million mortgage marketing plan, and then talk a little bit about what makes your company such a great source. Because recently you've teamed up with Guaranteed Rate. What do you like about Guaranteed Rate?
Oh, man, there's so much that I like. One, Guaranteed Rate's the 5th largest lender in the nation for home loans. So we are the number 1 non-bank jumbo lender in the nation, and we're the number 1 purchase lender. So we really focus on purchase loans. And, 6,000 employees strong, did about, we say 19 was the best year ever. $37.1 billion in loan originations. We're probably going to eclipse that and get close to $50 billion this year. All the winners are at Guaranteed Rate. That's part of the reason I picked it.
They have a lot of great team members there.
Yeah, they just have, we get a thing through Scotsman's Guide, which is a kind of an industry magazine that's online and in print. And of the top 500 originators in that list for production, Guaranteed Rate has 33% of the top 500, and they've got 44 out of the top 200. In fact, the number 1 and number 2 both work for Guaranteed Rate, and they're killing it. So the company's really designed and focused around serving the producer and helping somebody like me double, triple, quadruple their production.
Because you don't have a problem with marketing. The issue is the actual funding of the loan process. That cannot be clunky.
Right. Yeah, you got to get the loans in and get them out. And if you spend all of your time as an originator trying to just get people to the closing table, and there are companies that make it super difficult for that to happen, then it takes away from your time to go out and get more business. So Guaranteed Rate is allowing me to focus on what drives revenue, which is getting deals in the door.
Now, you told me the other day, you said, I don't need to focus anymore on marketing right now.
Right.
Right now, I just need to refine my systems because you said those words, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, I just don't like. We have some really good relationships of people that are bringing us in a lot of deals. Okay. One being Shaw Homes that we worked on with your help for almost 4 years.
ShawHomes.com for 4 years.
Yeah.
We persistently marketed to them, and now you're their official. One of their official approved lenders or preferred lenders.
I call myself the preferred lender. So, I mean, of the preferred lenders, I'm preferred. But, yeah, I want to focus on really capitalizing on those relationships that I already have in place.
Right.
And making sure that I'm getting the most amount of business out of those while still being very sniper-like in targeting and identifying other companies and other referral sources that I can do business with. Versus the broad. Now, look, we're still topping Google for everything. We're still the highest and most reviewed lender within 500 miles. We just joined a company that shares a lot of our same values. Guaranteed Rate has a net promoter score that's in the 97s. So
now the net promoter score is a famous customer satisfaction score that Harvard uses, and you guys have a 97.
Yep.
other companies that have that high of a customer loyalty or a customer satisfaction rate would be like Chick-fil-A would fit into that category.
Yeah.
Southwest Airlines. There's very few companies that are at that level of satisfaction as what you guys are providing there at Guaranteed Rate. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to go through the 5 moves that any mortgage lender out there would need to implement if they want to grow their mortgage business. Now, while we're doing that, I want all the listeners to know this. This is the same plan that works really well for real estate agents, and it works very well for insurance people. So if you're listening today and you're an insurance agent, you're a realtor, you're a mortgage company, this plan will work. It's a 5-point plan. And Steve, I will tee up the point, and then you tell me why it works, okay?
Okay.
Step number 1. And everybody should write this down, okay? Write this down. Step number 1. Get video reviews every week. Steve, talk to me about why is it important to gather weekly video reviews, and how has that helped your brand?
Well, for one, they can't be faked. And so when you have someone on video that says that you do a good job or they had a good experience with you, then it's more, I mean, people are more likely to believe it, because for someone to get on camera and do that versus someone behind a keyboard that might fill out a review, even say on Google.
So let's type this in. I'm going to type in Tulsa Mortgages right now, Tulsa Mortgages. And when I do, and I want all the listeners to do it as well, type in Tulsa Mortgages. I see Steve Currington, a.k.a. Guaranteed Rate Inc., as number 1 with 646 reviews.
Yep.
I see former clients everywhere.
Yeah.
Not at that level of success.
Right.
What makes you so great to work with is that you actually implement and don't just talk about it. Some people want to talk about getting video reviews. Some people want to reach out to a consultant and say, "What should I do?" And then when you tell them what to do, they say, "I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
I just wanted to know what to do. I don't want to actually do it.
Right.
Thomas Edison once said that vision without execution is hallucination. Vision without execution is hallucination. So talk to me. What is wrong with you? Why do you get video reviews? Why do you do it? So many people say, "What do I need to do?" You tell them, but you actually do it. What is wrong with you?
Well, I mean, I'm paying to have someone coach me to tell me the right things to do, and I just don't. It's a waste of my time and your time if I can't. And I feel like I don't implement even close to what you recommend that I do. But for the reviews, it was just a big. I felt like a big.
And we've been working together for years. And Steve, a while back, you showed up to the office driving a Lamborghini. You know, today you're driving your auto-wrapped Lexus. Do you still have any koi in the koi pond, or is it just sort of a koi pond without the koi?
At my house, yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any koi in there?
I keep killing the koi.
I'm not a very.
I'm not a very.
You're not
good,
a koi boy.
No, I don't think I'm a very good koi raiser, because I keep.
But you have
them.
a koi pond. There's just no koi in the pond.
Yeah, they keep dying. Well, they die, and then we have this raccoon, I think, that comes and eats them.
Now, I want the listeners to think about this. You have to think about, what are your goals for your family, right? What are your F6 goals? What are your goals for your family, for your faith, for your finances, for your fitness, for your friendship, and your fun? What are your goals? Everybody write this down. For your faith, for your family, for your finances, for your fitness, for your friendship, and your fun. And then you have to schedule time to implement each one of those areas. You have to schedule time for your faith, for your family, for your finances, for your fitness, for your friendship, and your fun. And Steve, if you on your goal list, you wrote down, "Hey, I want to buy a Lamborghini."
Yep.
That's probably been a dream of yours for a long, long time. When did you first have the vision and the dream to buy a Lamborghini?
Wow. I don't know. I think it was, I bought a Lamborghini before. It was a used. It was 9 years old in 2014 that I had for a very short time before the engine exploded on me. But, when I quit drinking in 16, I bought my Bentley a month later. This was after.
No hydration? You've had no hydration? You haven't been drinking any?
When I quit partaking in alcoholic adult beverages in 16.
Thank you for clarifying.
Which is right after I went through a big change in my career. I wanted something to focus on that was what I would call a positive vice. And I think this is something that you helped me with. And so I started doing cars. I bought that Bentley in July, and then the reason why, this is my opinion of the reason why people buy Lamborghinis, is because I had a friend that had a Lamborghini, and I would drive around with him, and I would be like behind him listening to the sound of that exhaust of his like Lamborghini Murcielago, and I'm like, oh my God, I want one of those. So that was, I think, when I first really started hanging out with my friend James, and we were running around tearing it up and having a good time, and I was like kind of caught the bug. So it was like the next March, which was March of 17, that I bought the Huracan that I have. And but I think that's what kind of got me. I mean, I don't really do anything except for work and do my YouTube thing that's fun, and then which is all centered around cars. And so I think I like driving fast. That's my passion right now. So it's helpful when you have a car that can get from 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds.
How many people in Tulsa know you in your mind? I mean, in your industry, how many of your competitors, your peers in the industry, know you as the Lamborghini driving Tulsa mortgage guy?
Oh, I think a lot of them, if not all of them, do.
Yeah. And it is a purple cow. It's perfect because you love the vehicle. It's on your goal list, and it really does make you stand out. But again, we've got to get back to the basics. There's 5 moves you have to implement if you're an insurance agent, if you're a real estate agent, if you're an aspiring mortgage person. And the first move, you have to get video reviews. Steve, what's hard about getting video reviews?
Asking. I mean, that's the thing. You just have to get in the habit of asking.
And if you get rejected, do you quit or do you ask again?
No,
or what
just keep asking. You know, we do it at the closing table now because we have them there. They're happy. They're excited. And we'll just say, hey, will you give us...
You ask at the closing table.
Yeah, they're in the excitement. You know, usually if there's a realtor there, the realtor's like taking pictures for Facebook, and then that's when we ask, can you give us a review?
So if I type in Tulsa, if I type in right now, Steve Currington reviews. If I type in Steve Currington reviews. And a lot of people do that, by the way. They find you in Google, they type in Tulsa mortgages, but then they type in Steve Currington reviews. And they see the videos, and it's like this ultimate brand. It's an ultimate validation. Yeah. It says, I can trust this guy.
I think it's like, I tell people this. It's not like, I would say that I do get a fair amount of people that say they read my reviews and they want to use me as a lender because they saw my reviews. But most of the time what happens, Clay, is someone refers somebody to me.
True.
And I get a referral, and the reviews is what keeps them with me because
they did their research.
Yeah, because then they're like, well, so-and-so referred, and then I read your reviews, and I want you to do. So it's kind of like the work of me selling myself is already getting done by the people that have left video reviews and written reviews on Google and that stuff that's already out there.
It's kind of like a branding or gift wrapping. You know, Michael Levine has spoken at our conferences before. Michael Levine is the former PR, the public relations consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Charlton Heston, for Wolfgang Puck. And Michael talks about this. His actual notable quotable is this. And by the way, Thrive Nation, Michael Levine has spoken at our conferences multiple times. He says, if you give someone a present and you give it to them in a Tiffany box, it's likely that they'll believe that the gift has a higher perceived value than if you gave it to them in no box or a box of less prestige. That's not because the receiver of the gift is a fool, but instead it's because we live in a culture in which we gift wrap everything. Our politicians, our corporate heads, and our movie and TV stars, even our toilet paper. Public relations is like gift wrapping. So again, somebody types in Tulsa mortgages, they find you, Steve, but then they look at the video reviews and it's a tuck-in.
Yeah.
Off those referrals, it's a tuck-in. How often do you hear people say, man, I read your reviews. I'm happy with you. I'm excited. How often do you hear someone comment in some capacity about the reviews?
Well, it's a huge focus within our office. So, I mean, we get it every day. I mean, we get people. We just had a deal that it's a realtor that's actually buying her own personal home, her and her husband, and they were with another lender that I don't know what got messed up with it, but they called us and said, oh, you know, we're in this bad spot. Can you help us? And I think we closed their loan, and from the time I got their application to closing was like 11 days or something.
What states are you in, by the way? What states are you in? I mean, we have a lot of listeners who listen, you know, in Florida and in Texas and California. What states can people actually reach out to you and do business with you?
Formerly, I would say 5 or 6 states, but because of our partnership with the Guaranteed Rate, we have all 50.
So if I'm listening right now and I need a mortgage to buy a property, what do I do to get in touch with you?
Just go to stevecurrington.com or
Steve Currington, CURRINGTON, stevecurrington.com. You go there.
Or stevecurrington.live is my podcast site. But yeah, you go there. There's a form. You can apply. My phone number's on there. My office number's 918-528-8804. And I think that's it.
Well, you were sharing that story about that couple from the time they reached out to you to the time they actually funded. How quickly did that occur? How quick was the progress from reaching out to you to getting funded?
Like 11 days. And they were ecstatic. Of course, she's a realtor, so she's like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to refer clients to you. And then she left us a really, really amazing review. And then she texted me and said, I feel bad after I left that review, like through our company, through our net promoter score that we send the feedback, that she didn't list mine and Casey's name. And I said, well, don't worry, they know who it was. I mean, we did your loan.
How quickly can you pre-approve somebody? If somebody reaches out to you today, they go to stevecurrington.com. How quickly can you pre-approve somebody?
Well, we have a digital mortgage now, and you can pretty much get pre-approved instantly on your own without me even being involved.
Oh, wow.
Because through that digital mortgage, which takes about maybe 10 to 15 minutes, depending on the information that you put in there. But you can put enough information in that it'll give you an offer on a rate. It will give you your pre-approval letter. It'll give you your credit scores on the screen, and you're done. So we'll always call to tuck people in and tell them, hey, they're good, or we might make adjustments to the rate based on something that, sometimes rates don't always match up in there. But and then we can certainly send the pre-approval letter ourselves. But, yeah, I mean, that's really where our technology shines at Guaranteed Rate, is just people want answers now. They don't want to apply for a mortgage and find out, 3 days later if they're approved or not. I was talking to a builder in that's out of Houston this last weekend, and we were actually down in Waco hanging out with Chip and Joanne or whatever her name is. Not really. But he was telling me that when people apply through the lender that they use, it takes them 48 hours. And I'm like,
48 hours?
I'm like, 48 hours. He goes, well, how long would it take you? And I'm like, 48 minutes? I don't know, like 4 minutes? Like what? Why would it take 2 days for you to determine?
Well, you guys are very consistent over there, and I think you guys do a great job. And I think the listeners out there that haven't gone to stevecurrington.com and haven't got a chance to meet you, they're going to love reaching out to you. It's going to be a great experience. However, none of that would be the services that you provide at Guaranteed Rate wouldn't even matter if you didn't have any customers. So we go back to our marketing plan. There's a 5 steps. 5 steps. And Steve, everybody has to implement these 5 steps every week.
Yeah.
So step number 2, and there's a lot of details behind these, but these are the moves, okay? Move number 1, get video reviews. Get a video review each and every week. Now 2, you got to add images to your website. People want to know what you look like. Yeah. We had to do professional headshots. We did a 3D tour of your office. We did photos of you. People want to know who they're doing business with. We got to get those photos. Add those photos to your Google map and your website. Each and every week, if you are a coaching client, we do optimize your video reviews for you. We do handle the images for you. But move number 3, search engine content. Steve, we got to write at least 500 words of content on our website every day, every single day. And you want to put 1,000 words of content per page. Now, when you and I first met, 5 years ago when we first re-met?
Yeah.
I was working with your direct competitor previously.
Yep.
And you were my number 1 draft pick, and I was yours. We wanted to work together, but we couldn't because I was working with somebody else previous to knowing you. And when that relationship ended, we were able to work together. And I remember telling you, dude, we've got to do 1,000 words of content per page. And in order to be top in Google, we have to have more content than the other people, original content. And I remember you said, well, can't we just copy content?
Yeah.
And I said, because you said there's a lot of publications that you get where you can, trade journals and stuff. And we said, well, you can't do that.
Yep, that doesn't
and then
work.
you said, well, why not? And then I remember you saying, but no one even reads that stuff. Does anyone even read that crap?
Yeah.
And I said, no. And then you said, well, how much would it cost if you guys wrote it for me? And I said, well, it's 24 articles a month we include. But if you want us to write more, we charge you $12 an article. Back in the day we did,
Yeah.
Or you could do a podcast, and you're going, podcast? Had that conversation. Next thing you know, you and your employee at the time teamed up, and you would faithfully come into this studio on this microphone and record every week, I think at like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning?
Yep. It was super early. We had to create some sound bites to keep Tyler awake because he'd have his giant Red Bull.
Did you want to record every day?
No.
Did you want to record every week?
No, it sucked.
Did you want to record podcasts that you knew nobody would listen to?
No.
Did you want to pay our team to transcribe the content and add that crap to the website?
No. I still don't.
Do you want did you want a Lamborghini?
Yes.
Were you tempted to stop at some point?
Yeah.
How long did it take us to get into page one dominance. Because right now, if you type in Tulsa mortgages, I mean, you clearly are dominant. You're getting, don't you get Google leads every week now?
Yeah. I mean,
It's like 1 or 2 leads a week or what?
no, I mean, we get calls every day. I mean, we
Every
get
day.
phone calls every day from our Google listing.
How much money do you make? If I do a $300,000 mortgage with you right now, stat. I fill out the form right now, stat, because it's serious. It's immediate, even maybe before now. If I fill it out right now, how much money goes to you, period?
Well, that's the new cool thing with Guaranteed Rate. I don't get paid on a per loan basis anymore. I just get paid on the profitability of our branch. So what we've been able to do is
cut the crap. I know you're trying.
No, I'm serious. And
what
so
are you, the leader of the Democrat Party here? You the leader of the Republican Party? What are you doing?
we make a fair wage, man. I'll tell you what, we make, I would say
Aaron Antis just stepped in. He's going to set you straight here. He's not going to put up with the crap.
we make a percentage of the loan amount. It'll depend on the loan program. Will determine that. So that's anywhere between 1.5% and 3% of the loan size.
So you might though take
As a
home in your
company.
pocket if I do a $300,000 mortgage, okay? Because I'm gonna buy a beautiful house from ShawHomes.com.
Oh,
if I go to ShawHomes.com, I buy a house from them, Oklahoma's largest home builder. If I buy a house from them and I use you for the mortgage, you're in your pocket. Are you keeping $3,000?
No, not anymore, man. Clay, I'm being serious now at this point. I don't know. I mean,
At this point,
if I don't
though,
run my P&L properly, I'm going to be bringing home nothing.
At this point, the listeners are furious with you, and they want to know. Because I mean, do you keep $10?
Our loan
Answer the question.
A loan officer in our company probably makes 1% of the loan size on average, 1.25%, something like that. So that'd be like.
You're playing games.
No. That'd be like
dirty.
37.50. You'd make on a $300,000 loan as a loan officer.
So the listeners out there, I want the listeners to know this. And Aaron, you can chime in on this. We're teaching today. It's the 5. There's a lot of other details, but it's the 5-step proven plan for growing a mortgage business, an insurance agency, or a real estate company. We said move number 1, you got to get video reviews. Aaron, there's somebody out there that says, why does ShawHomes.com have to get video reviews every week? Why?
Well, that's because people want to know that real people have built a home with us, and that we're just not saying that we're great, but that somebody who's actually gone through our process actually enjoyed it and liked the home that they built.
2, although Steve's playing games with us, mental jujitsu. He's kind of half answering questions. What he's doing is he's not being transparent with us. He's trying to say that he only gets paid a percentage of the profit. And although that may be true, the listeners are tired.
He's playing games and telling us that, although it might be true.
Listen, I'm trying. After this gig, I'm going to be applying it for a job at CNN. And this is some of the headlines I'm working on. Steve, I'm getting, so here's my tonight on CNN. Despite the coronavirus being less deadly than we thought and less deadly than the common flu, tonight the number of cases spikes at an alarming rate. So you get it's actually good news, but you feel bad.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to do. So I'm saying, despite the fact that Steve Currington is completely transparent with us, he will not stop playing games. You see, it makes you feel like you're.
And then he's like, well, he's a little turd. He's sitting there telling us the truth.
While being truthful.
While being truthful.
Tonight,
he's playing
Steve
games.
Currington tells us the secrets that we all know. Yeah. I mean, it's that sort of double talk. You got to get good at that to be on CNN.
CNN stands for constantly negative news.
Okay. I'm practicing. So you got to get images. Why do you at Shaw Homes have to get images every week and add that stuff to the map, to the website? I mean, I don't necessarily want to do it. You don't necessarily want to do it, but why do you have to do it?
Well, because Google is the king of search, and they're in charge. And if I want to win, I got to play by their rules. And their rules say I got to keep uploading pictures and keep getting Google reviews and doing video reviews.
Has Shaw Homes grown over these past 4 years almost?
Yeah, maybe by 1%.
Because you guys were at 24 million, I think, before I met you, right?
There's a liar in the room.
Okay,
but
that
it
was
isn't
not
me.
true. That was the secrets that everybody knows.
You were practicing to be a CNN reporter, where you can go an entire session,
I'll tell
an
you
entire
what,
segment
we've
without saying anything
quadrupled
true.
our income, but we've only increased by 1%.
Right.
I love
CNN.
I love CNN. They Chris Cuomo the other night attacked President Trump for not growing the economy fast enough. And the graph he showed, did you see this, Steve? The graph he showed 2016 numbers. pre-Trump. Did you see this?
Oh no.
He used a graph from 4 years previous attacking him for stagnation.
Oh, that's.
And then when
not
Stanford
honest.
came out and said that 85 times, Stanford came out and said between 50 and 85 times more people have had coronavirus than they thought. That's actually a great thing because if more people had it and more people didn't die, it means it's less deadly.
Yeah.
But he was like fired up about it. Tonight, Stanford releases a report that shows 85 times more people had the coronavirus than we thought.
He's also the one that was supposed to be quarantined, and he was like caught by that biker at his new multi-million-dollar house that he was building without a mask or without.
So let me try
anything
this.
while
So
he was supposedly chastising people for leaving quarantine, and he infected it himself.
So Aaron, you guys have grown from 24 million to
beat 'em up.
what's the total now?
Well, we're halfway through the year, and we're at more than double that number. We're like just under 60.
So far this year.
Yeah.
On pace to do 100 million?
Probably 130.
And what was your total last year for total sales?
We were just under 80.
So you went from 24 million to just under 80 million. So let me make it negative. I'm practicing here. Here we go. This is my CNN move. Here we go.
They only grew by 50 million.
Local home builder teams up with business coach and now has triple the work. You know see what I'm saying?
Triple the work.
Triple the
That's a
work.
good CNN headline.
No work-life balance.
No work-life balance. Tonight on CNN, the business coach that provides no life balance. That's the move. Okay. So third, we got to add search engine content. Again, Steve, Aaron, Steve, you didn't want to add search engine content every day.
Yeah.
But you got to add 500 words of content every day, 1,000 words of content per page. Aaron, when you heard you had to add 1,000 words of content per page, a lot of people say, that sounds dumb.
I cried.
That sounds made up.
Yeah.
People say, do I have to do it?
He did cry.
Can
I
just
remember
copy
this.
content? Can
I walked by and he was whimpering. And I was
Does
like,
anyone
what
even
is wrong
read
with
it?
you?
What were all the thoughts that you went through? Because I know there's somebody out there going through these emotions right now.
I honestly, I was like, how in the world could that help? And people just don't read on a website. So, like, why do I have to write a bunch of material that nobody's going to read anyways? That's just a complete waste of time because, like, and the other thing is, like, it takes a lot of thought and time to write a 1,000-word article. This is not the best use of my time. I feel like I should be working on other things. Yeah, this is not going to actually make my website any better.
Now, once we get to the top of Google, then it's kind of like, well, maybe we should stop because it works so well. Maybe we should stop. But again, Google, it's like the pulse of the human body. It's kind of how Google perceives getting reviews and content. The moment you stop adding content, they think that you're no longer in business.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this, Steve. So move number 4. More Google reviews. For the folks out there taking notes, move number 1. It's VISM. Move number 1, get video reviews. 2, images on the site every week. 3, search engine content. Add every single day at least 500 words of content to your website per day. 4, more Google reviews. Steve, why can't you ever stop getting Google reviews?
Because every time you get 4, you might keep 2. That's my rule of thumb.
What's the most you've lost at one time, Steve?
263.
How does that make you feel, Steve?
Wow.
It made me feel very angry, and then I spent a month trying to get Google to give them back to me, and then I realized they weren't. So I just went and got 646 more.
Some people, though, would just be shut down when that happens. Aaron Antis with ShawHomes.com. Have you ever received a bad review from somebody who didn't actually buy a home from you at ShawHomes.com?
Actually, I have a whole bunch of those. Yeah, like a lot.
Has it ever taken? I mean, honestly, what's the word? How low have you allowed it to go before? I want to know. Just this will be a personal confession here. How low? We'll go with Steve second. I'll go third. How low? I mean, what's the worst? What's like the one that you let it take you to the bottom? And how low did you get?
Oh,
did you dig a basement?
I got to be honest. The normal thing that happens is that I get the Google review alert on my phone, and it's always like within an hour before I'm going to take a day off or, if I get one of those, or I'm about to leave for the end of the day and go home and spend like quality time with my family. And then I have somebody who says that we failed in all these things. And I'm like, we didn't even I look it up and we didn't even build their house. But
the ones that hurt me are the ones where they say he's a racist. And I know the person who wrote I'm a racist is someone that he's never worked for me. Never met me, never worked with me, but they know that as a competitor of mine, the moment you say racist, they know it decreases my number of leads
Yep.
by 5%, 10%, just by throwing it out there.
Yeah.
Because people are so sensitive.
Yeah.
Have you ever gotten one that's gotten to your core?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've definitely had one that got to my core because what they actually did is we had a misunderstanding, which we cleared up with the client. I met with them personally. They were all good with the solution we came up with.
All good, baby.
Then they left, and over the weekend, not only did they go on and give us a Google review and just bash us and write a book, they also went on Facebook and did the same thing. Then the other spouse did the same thing, and then they got like 8 of their family members to also do the same thing. So we had like 10 bad Google reviews at the same time, all from family members who were just making stuff up. After to my face, they told me, we're good. We love our home. Thank you. It's great.
Whoa.
And then they went on and bashed us. And so I went on and like basically said, what are you doing? Why are you saying all this? And the funny part of this is they then came to us and said, hey, by the way, my dad wants to build a house and we want to refer them to you. We want to make sure we're going to get our referral check from you guys.
I have audio, if it's okay,
Yeah.
of the review. This is it's weird, but I was able to get Steve and I were able to work together.
Yeah.
Because that's what when you guys aren't doing mortgages at guaranteed rate, what you're doing is you're serving as like a part of the team.
Yeah.
To gather sound clips of the negative things people have said to Aaron's face about Shaw Homes.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And but then you go a step further. You actually gather audio of the person, what they're saying while they're typing their non-true review.
Yeah.
So we're going to play the audio of somebody typing a non-true review about shawhomes.com. And Steve, if you can be kind of our John Madden, if you could break down what this person means. Let me cue it up here. It could be the wrong file, too. You never know.
No, I think this is the right one.
Oh, I think this is the right file. Let me cue it up
This
here.
is like what happened after we, like, this is actually more like what happened after, like, anyone reads that review.
Yes.
And then this is what they're thinking.
Okay, so this is right here. Okay, here we go.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Oh, so good.
I award you no points,
Oh, at least they're withholding your points.
Yeah.
and may God have mercy on your soul.
Oh, so good.
I mean, here the guy says, hey, I'm cool with you. I'm cool with you. It's fine. You've handled the situation okay. And then he sits behind a keyboard. And let me do it again here. He sits behind a keyboard, and this is what he does.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point
All on your Google
in your
review app right
rambling,
there, all on your
incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room
Hey, I
is now
downloaded
dumber
this
for having
clip
listened to it.
onto my phone.
I award you no
And I, on
Points.
Facebook, I'll reply to some ridiculous, like, comment about coronavirus. I'll just post that video. And then just leave and then block them. I'm like, done. I'm like, because so many people are putting, like, stupid stuff on there, and I'm like, get out of
Oh,
here.
gosh. Okay, so we got to get more Google reviews. Again, people are going to leave a bad review that may be true, maybe not true. You got to just consistently get reviews.
Well,
you gotta
that's
keep your
the point
score
that I
up
was going to
there.
make, too, is because you can't really control when wacko people leave insanely ridiculous reviews that aren't representative of what you do. And a lot of times it can be a competitor that is trying to
Most of the
hurt
times
your
it
business,
is,
a
yeah.
former employee
Oh,
or
yeah.
somebody. And you don't want to be, and I learned this from Clay, so you don't want to be on the defensive, because I think some people are like that. They'll get, if Aaron didn't already have, 1,000 reviews between all of the different model homes and different locations, then if you got 10 bad reviews, you'd be freaking out because your rating just went from if you only had 10 and then 10 bad ones came in and you go to a 2, then you're like in fixer mode,
Well,
right?
as an example, one of our great clients, I won't mention his name right now, but he got a really bad review this week. I mean, it was like a crash and burn review. And I'm going to pull it up, Steve, so you can see this. So the guy is getting great reviews because he's a great business owner. He gets great reviews all the time. And then all of a sudden, he gets like a really bad one. I mean, we're talking about the guy who decides to write pages of, or at least what appears to be 2.5 paragraphs of just complaining.
Oh.
So I thought, well, let's look at this guy and read other reviews he's left. And so we find out the guy left a bad review about the Indian Nation Football League. He leaves a bad review about a pool company that I know for a fact is the best pool company in Tulsa because I've used them multiple times. He leaves a negative review then about another, the Hyundai in town. Then he leaves a bad review about another pool company, which would imply he bought 2 pools this year. Yeah. Then he leaves a third review about a pool company that's a 1-star. And then he goes for the 4th review. So homeboy has written, and then a 5th one.
Pools.
So he wrote 5.
So he's just up there like seriously, he's bashing the competition.
Who digs a hole in the ground and builds 5 pools in their backyard each year and leaves a bad review. And then think about the rate of which the reviews are coming in. It appears as though he was getting this pool installed, all these pools about the same time. I mean, he must have had 4. He must be a blessed man, the kind of guy with no emotional intelligence who's able to afford to be able to build 5 pools within a year.
He's sitting around his pool right now, chuckling, leaving reviews.
Unbelievable. So again, you got to get those reviews. And the final thing,
protect yourself.
Move number 5. Final move number 5. This is the plan from Tulsa's Mortgage Man. This is the moves that we use every week to grow your business. It works. The Dream 100. Yep. You make a list of your ideal and likely buyers. You make a list of the home builders, in your case, Steve, that you want to refer you. And there's certain home builders you don't want to refer you because they're difficult to work with. But Shaw Homes was your number 1 draft pick.
Yep.
You put them on that Dream 100 list, and faithfully, you reached out to them and the top
for 30 days. It took me.
No.
For what, 4 years? 3 years?
It was about 3 years.
So you put...
Every 3.5.
So you have to do is you get out a spreadsheet and you write on the spreadsheet the names of the people that you want to refer you. Boom. And then you wrote down all the realtors that you want to refer you, the top producers.
Yep.
And it has taken about 4 years to do it. Aaron, what was going on at Shaw Homes? Why didn't you just immediately start referring Steve business the moment that he walked through your door?
Because we already had many year-long relationships with the current people we were doing business
Somebody
with.
out there, though, is going, look, I'm a mortgage guy. I'm an insurance guy. I'm a realtor guy. And I've reached out to Shaw Homes one time. And how come I'm not getting all that business?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to just switch lenders and, we're not going to switch any of the subcontractors we work with on just like off the fly, oh, what the heck, we'll switch. Like, we want long-term relationships with everybody we do business with because it's more beneficial for everybody. So Steve just had to be there on the day when we decided we were going to make that change. And sometimes that's years and years before that change happens. And he was the only person who was consistently following up with us all the way through that whole 3.5 years I think it took before we were at that point where we needed somebody.
Now, Steve, as a Judeo-Christian man and a married man, I've been married for 20 years now.
Yeah.
I have a rule that I've established for myself as it relates to the Dream 100.
Yeah.
And I've talked to you about my rule. I've said, I love you, and you're a great guy. But because it violates my faith and your faith and my marital covenant relationship, you have to market relentlessly to me for 75 consecutive years before I'm even open to switching.
Oh.
I'm going to stay married to my wife, who's a woman.
Oh, okay.
But it'll take 75 consistent years of marketing relentlessly. Dream 100.
we would both be like 110 by that point. So,
I'm not going to switch teams.
Right. It would take
that easily.
Right. Well, notice that
There's
you
a
didn't
lot
say
of
that
changes that would have to be made.
You didn't say that you're not going to switch teams.
There's a certain
You
momentum.
said that you're not going to switch teams easily.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I mean, for my whole career, you get used to one batting stance. You're batting from one side, and you're saying switch teams. Right? I mean,
yeah.
But I'm serious, though, because
it's getting awkward for me standing over here.
I want the listeners to understand this idea.
Back on?
You asking somebody to switch from one mortgage company to another isn't as big of an ask as asking someone to switch marital partners, but it is a commitment because it could really screw stuff up if Steve's company was a jackass company.
Exactly.
Well, that happened on July 5th of 2019. That's
Switching
when it was
marriage
announced.
partners?
No, that's when I officially became a preferred.
Oh, I was going to say, I didn't know why we had switched.
Go back to earlier in the podcast, and you said Shaw grew from 80 million. 24. They did 80 million, and then they're going to do 130. Now, I don't know if you could directly relate that growth to me being the preferred lender on July 5th.
Yeah, I don't know if you could, but if it was a timeline.
I was kind of there, I kind of came in like right when all that was happening.
Well, earlier when I said it was like 1% growth, I was actually referring to the part that you helped with, Steve.
Oh, nice. So, awesome. Thank you very much. Well, at least I helped. It's better than detracting.
The rest was Clay. Yeah. Sorry.
So and I introduced you to Clay, so I guess I am responsible for it.
There it is. Boom. Now, you guys are going down to Dallas this weekend. You're going to celebrate your wife's birthday.
Yeah.
Awesome thing. It's a great time. This is the first time in years, I understand, that the Parade of Homes has not fallen on your wife's birthday. So normally you'd be giving random people tours of homes, but now you're going to go celebrate the birthday. What's on the agenda? What are you guys going to do?
Oh, so many good restaurants. We're just going to eat lots of good food. I plan to bring my fat pants with me, put on at least 10 pounds.
Whatever Deb wants, that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'll probably sit and rub my belly
Is Sally
with
going?
all that food in it.
We're thinking about inviting her.
No, she'll be there. And then
I don't know if you're a three-wheeling.
No, Sally's going, and then my wife's best friend and my sister Dana is coming up from Houston. She's meeting us.
I pictured Aaron and his wife driving in a Mercedes and then bolted onto the side as a little sidecar like a motorcycle.
There you go.
With Steve wearing goggles.
The truth
and a
is,
scarf.
the girls are going to go down
Flapping in the
Thursday morning, and then we're going to drive like a little bit after lunch. We're going to go, but I'm going to chauffeur. I'm going to be the chauffeur because Aaron has that new cool Lexus or Mercedes that has the chauffeur mode.
Chauffeur mode?
It's the S550. So
Are you
Aaron,
making this up?
No, I swear to God. So
No,
Aaron
this
will
is
get
for
in the
real.
back, and there's a button you hit.
No,
and
so it shows a ton of fur?
No. The front seat, the front passenger seat moves all the way up.
It folds into
It
the
folds down
dashboard.
into the dash, and then in the back he has like a footrest
A recliner.
and
basically.
and then his seat reclines.
I
It's
have
amazing.
I have
And it
audio.
massages, too. It's
I have
pretty
audio
awesome.
of it if you want to. So how big is the button that you hit to make it
It's
switch
like
into
it's
chauffeur
almost
mode?
as big as the car. Like you actually
Aaron,
have to hit the button on the outside of the car
Can
before
you
get in.
hit the
small.
button, please? And then I'll play for the listeners right now. If the listeners can picture it, somehow Steve has been able to bring the button in the studio from Aaron's car.
Well, I recorded it on my phone.
Oh,
Let me just
okay.
hit
So
play real
you
quick.
hit. So Aaron,
Here,
just
I'm
go ahead
pulling
and
it up.
tell me to engage the chauffeur mode, and I'll do it.
Engage chauffeur mode.
This is 2.5 minutes, so we get ready.
Okay. Wow. Oh my God. Not that button. My leg. My arm.
At what point do we get to what's happening? Now the seats are being moved. What's happening?
Oh yeah. It's going into recliner mode.
Are you comfy, Mr. Antis?
Oh my God. I'm folded into a pretzel. What's going on here? That was the wrong button, Steve.
It seems like
Oh, that's where the headrest comes off. Yep. Okay.
it seems like a
Jeez.
lot of work.
Oh, Jesus Christ! I didn't mean to hit that button.
This is all one button.
my
What is
God.
this?
Make it stop.
If you is this where the sidecar comes out? Okay. Well, that's that. Be careful when you hit that button. But again, if you're out there today and you are wanting to make copious amounts of money to secure time freedom and financial freedom for your family, do it today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. That's thrivetimeshow.com. Book your tickets to attend a workshop or sign up for one-on-one coaching. We only have 160 spots, so there's a little bit of a vetting process. But man, if you need a mortgage, go to Steve. What's the website we need to go to right now? If I need a mortgage, and who doesn't need a mortgage?
You would go to stevecurrington.com.
Are the rates low?
Rates are low. Yeah. If you don't
They're
believe me,
insanely
ask one of the Shaw's other preferred lenders. That's all they got.
I have a hard time remembering things in both the
kidding.
short term and the long term. So could you tell me your web address just 3 more times as I serenade myself to meditative music?
Currington.com. That's Currington. It works in lowercase and caps. So some people think that matters. It actually doesn't matter. But if you if you just Google Tulsa Mortgage, then I'm at the top anyway. You can find me that way. So.
And Aaron, if someone wants to buy a house, they live in the Tulsa area, what's your website there at Shaw Homes?
It is shawhomes.com.
Is it
Shaw
SHAWL
Homes,
like shawl?
No, SHAWHOMES.com. Shawhomes.com.
Oh, very nice.
Guys, you're great Americans. Hope you have fun in Dallas. Not too much fun, but let's end this thing with a boom. And remember, those mics are hot, so we got to take one giant step back before we bring the boom. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, boom!